Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, we'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 11 of the anime series Dance with Devils, which was all kinds of awesome. I gotta say, everything that I was hoping would unfold in this episode as the last leg in the game before the finale of this series all came to fruition. It was so just satisfying to me, and leaving us off with the cliffhanger as well to boot. Everything from Ritsuka being brought before Lord Nesta, seeing how primeval this guy is. He basically confirms in dialogue that Lindo is in fact his son, having some unsavory words to share about Ritsuka's Aunt Marta, and embodying her as sort of a 180-degree opposite from Ritsuka's own mother, which I find really interesting and compelling in and of itself, because it's a parallel to how I feel about Ritsuka and her brother. Ritsuka now being confirmed to be the daughter of the Devil King Moxus, whereas, Lindo is the son of Nesta now, the Vampire King, and so they too are on sort of opposite ends of the spectrum, with that equilibrium all revolving around the Forbidden Grimoire. I love that aspect. I'll tell you what, though, Jack was pushing my buttons in this episode. He was pissing me off when he backhands Ritsuka. Ritsuka, who has, as I said, come into her own. She's owning this entire affair. There is a level of naivete on her part that she doesn't want to believe that her life is hanging in the balance of this. She wants to believe and take people at their word when they promise, oh, only a little bit of blood will have to be spilled and we'll release you from the grimoire and you'll have a happy-go-lucky life. She wants to believe that. She's kind of in denial that her life might actually be at stake, and that's just, par for the course, because she's really adaptable to everything that's been going on thus far, and she wants to just think about the best sort of outcome for all parties involved and have faith in people. She's not been tainted as much as she's been manipulated, and the whole foreshadowing of just all hell breaking loose with her at the center of that, being the central focus of that. She really wants to believe that the greater good can still come out of this whole affair. But Jack, I just wanted to rip that mother's head off, Like I say, the way he backhands her and the way he's like trying to put his hands on her at one point. And we see her sneaking in these gold-plated scissors, or maybe they're actually fully gold, I don't know. But she's trying to get, I'm like, is she really gonna try to strike? Is she gonna go after Jack, or is she gonna go after Nesta? She goes after frickin' Nesta. And okay, so she failed. She was caught in the midst of this. But showing you the utmost courage that she had built up out of the process of all this stuff. And, calling back on Asuna, who, again, as I've gone back and forth with one of you in the comments, I have been a little bit under the suspicion, like maybe we'll find out she's still alive out there somewhere. Maybe the form that we saw killed as Asuna that died in Ritsuka's arms, maybe this was somebody else made to look like her. I really don't know. It could be that she is dead and gone, and that's, the end of it. But I like that Ritsuka was calling back on her and finding her strength within the embodiment of that memory of her friend. This woman who, again, was somebody who kind of manipulated her and was kind of lying to her from the get-go, being an exorcist and everything like that, but doing it for the greater safety of Ritsuka, and she could appreciate where she was coming from for that, and took strength from it. So she takes this stabbing jab at Nesta. I mean, the cojones you need to have. And striking at a vampire, like if vampires, as we see in this episode, can't be seen in a mirror reflection and everything like that, chances are slicing at their face isn't going to do a hell of a lot anyway. You want to go for the heart or something like that, But I just thought it was balls to the wall, seeing Ritsuka rise to that challenge and calling back on the boys, man. Lindo goes and confronts the devils. We have Lowen going and confronting them as well. And we finally have them coming clean to his posse who, again, they're kind of all playfully, singularly wanting to go after Ritsuka, but we do see, as per the last episode, if he'd just be honest, they would back him, and we even have one of them, saying how they were friends in childhood and they want a reason to look up to them again. Now they have that. There is a level of perceived weakness that, oh, you're fawning over a girl, but at least it's honest, and they can support him for that. They understand where he's coming from. What threw me for an absolute loop was when they all, go to save her. They get there in the nick of time just before she's about to be put to death, in a sense, have her neck bitten. She's completely under this suggestion and completely just falling to the whim of Nesta. and they all show up on the scene, and then they break out in song. Like, I was almost not sure if we were going to get a song in this episode, like a proper song, to be performed by anyone, because you had that chant going on, calling back to that sequence in the first episode, and like, I thought maybe that was going to be what made up for any kind of song, and then it would be saved for like the finale to have one final, you know, complete show of a performance. But no, we actually get the song, and what is the song? It's effectively every single one of these guys. Lindo, Yori, Meiji, Shiki, Rem, even Lowen is involved. Lowen is kind of the central figure as he's erupting fire from his hands. We all love you. We are all pouring out our hearts to you. We're, you know, just providing you with confessions of love, and they're all there to save her because they all love her. And she hears all of this. Finally, like, you know, the little sort of mix-up I had a couple episodes back where Rem was trying to expose how he felt in his fight back and forth with Lindo. And I thought she had heard all of this, but apparently she hadn't. And thus, you know, she finds herself in this predicament where she is still the utmost of strength and courage to enter that framework and to keep going with it, again, to take a stab at Nesta and everything. And, of course, this cliffhanger we leave off with. Just tantamount to exciting. Once this song is done, and Ritsuka, for all intents and purposes, is like, choose, baby. Choose which of these guys you're going to reach out to. And then Nesta's like, you think you're going to come into my place? You're going to come into my house? And you're going to try to wreck that Sick the boys on them. It's just... As soon as you see that shot, like a rocket blast right toward Rem's face, it's just like, boom, fade out. I'm like, damn it! Now I gotta wait a week to see how it plays out, and to see whatever decision Ritsuka's gonna make. And just, as far as brief speculation, per her words in the PV for the next episode, I almost feel like she might turn them all down. She might just sort of find the strength within herself and be like, this is my journey. I'm not going to choose any of you guys. I like you all for who you are, but this has to be me. It has to be me by myself. You know, that kind of framework. I don't know. Like, part of me, that happily ever after Disney film ideal, wants to see her choosing Rem and, you know, having a life together. But how would that even work? You know, I mean, if she's still containing the grimoire, I mean, she has to kind of go into hiding, like, you know, Superman, a self-imposed exile, away from the populace in order to not be found, because people are still going to be gunning after her, even if they quell Nesta. You still have Rem's, air quotes, father, you still have Moxis, you still have all these other people in play that would be gunning for her. So I can't even imagine how this is going to play out, and I really feel like the most logical, obvious course would be for her to just remove herself from any of them. You know, I've talked about in speculation with you guys in the comments about how I thought maybe there'd be some kind of sacrificial act, and at first I almost thought Lowen was pulling that when he arrives on the scene before anyone else, and he's like, he's the first to start with the, you know, I love this girl, I'm here for the girl, not so much the grimoire and everything like that. When he has that little bit of dialogue just before showing up there, he's entering like an elevator or whatever it is, and he's like saying to himself, you know, it's either the girl or the grimoire, and I'm sorry I can't hold up to that. I'm like, oh, he just sent all these guys to go after her, but he's going after the grimoire, you know, like, he's apologizing to them because he's going to take the grimoire and F the girl, effectively kill the girl, be done with her. But in fact, the tables were turned. He was very much there for the girl instead of the grimoire as well, which was a surprise. So, like, I'm still waiting you know, for some kind of surprise to kind of left field in the finale. I don't know if it's going to play to my expectations or if it's going to completely 180-degree turn on me and completely shock and bewilder me. I don't know, but I will definitely entertain any speculations you guys might have in the comments below. Love having that conversation. What did you think of the episode overall? Was it as satisfying to you as it was to me? I mean, this was a ripping good time. The pacing of this entire anime has been spot on, pitch perfect, every step of the way, just amping up the story that much more, having surprises coming in. At this stage in the game, it's just like bewildering and mind-blowing and that much more exciting and entertaining to have those kinds of elements being debuted even now, where you have so much that you can speculate and some of it's right, some of it's wrong, but boom, they're still pulling out surprises out of each of their pockets and hats and whatever you want to say. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this episode. Bring on the next one as soon as humanly possible, because damn, I just want to see what's going to happen next. And yeah, otherwise that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.